you like to tell us more about this more than 600 million that was reported in the National Audit Report 2017?
Thank you very much, Mr. C. It's a pleasure talking to you to shed light on this matter. As has been reported in some media, that is an amount of 669 million, was to be explained by the Office of the President. And I'm glad that we are in the position now to explain the circumstances. This figure was highlighted in the audit report of the government of the Gambia, of which the Office of the President is part of. And the scope was from the 1st of January 2017 to 31st of December 2017. Actually, the amount in question, comes from two separate accounts. They call them the special security account at the Office of the President. A total of 633 million. One of the accounts was opened during the former regime, that is the Jame era, and it was opened in 2012. 2012, yes. When it was opened in 2012, monies were being paid into the account, and it was being used. So over time, a total of, I think, 633 million was paid into the account over time, and it was being used. So when the new administration came in, they realized that this account was open and existent. Officials then decided to close the account.
Why?
They decided to close the account because perhaps they did not want to deal with the past. They want to turn a fresh leaf and be responsible for their own actions and their own expenditure. Perhaps that is why the account was closed. And that is a good reason to any reasonable person. And when the account was closed, the balance in the account, which was about 1.4 million, was transferred into a newly opened account also as a security, they call it also a security account. And then but the numbers are different. So this 1.4 million was put into that account, to open a new account.
That was put there by the new government?
Yes, by the new government. Yes, through the Minister of Finance.
So out of the 632 million in that account, only 1 million was left?
Yes, they found only 1 million in the account as a balance.
So the rest was spent by the
former regime, yes. From the account opened in 2012, yes, from the former regime. So this 1.4 million was used as an opening balance for the new account, or in the new account. And then the new account was eventually populated. The new account was opened in March 2017, and it was closed in September 2017. Okay, it was populated by funds provided by the Ministry of Finance through allocations made and processed by the Accountant General's Department. These monies were all paid in this account, and the total of the monies paid in the account was $44,712,858.97 butus. Okay, this was over a period of from March to September 2017, over time. And I repeat, the monies were appropriated by the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Finance and processed by the Accountant General. So these are legitimate funds, okay, for legitimate use. So these monies were paid into the account, and then that's 44.7 million. And then government under the current presidency, current administration, spent $35,844,485.70 butut. And it's not only once, it's over time, in these 6 months. And the monies were used for official travels of His Excellency the President, and for the payment of per diems to him and his members of his delegation. These monies were all used for that purpose. And these are, travels of the head of state. These are official ones. Okay. They are not just meant to.
So to get it right, this 669 million wasn't spent by the Barrow government.
600? No, not all of it. Part of, in fact, it's out of the 669 million. Only 35.8 million was spent by the current administration. So the 631 million should not be referred to as expenditure by this government, this administration. It is money spent by the previous administration. Okay. Yes. You did ask why the account was closed. Like I said, it was for reasons of transparency. When the administration came into office, the transition was not smooth and it was a bit chaotic. So, there was not much time to distinguish between one account and the other. But eventually, we distinguished the difference between the accounts and the need to have sanity in the managing the accounts. But notwithstanding, they kept the account just for a couple of months to be able to facilitate the president's movement. But eventually, in line with proper financial management as championed by His Excellency, the President, he decided that all accounts should be closed. All the government accounts should be closed. Because remember, this was one of the accounts that were opened under the previous regime. Several accounts were opened, but this is just one of them. So, but His Excellency decided all the accounts should be closed. And then we have a single treasury main account. That is where all government funds were being paid into. Even now, if the President is traveling, all the expenses are paid for through that account by the by the Accountant General's office. All the monies are processed through the account, being it per diem, being it impress, being it hire of aircraft, everything is processed. Funds are provided by the Ministry of Finance, and it's processed into physical cards or whatever checks by the Accountant General's department.
Okay, thank you. What are the lessons learned?
The lessons learned are that we have to maintain sanity in our accounting or financial management. That is why His Excellency issued the instructions that all the accounts should be closed and we have one consolidated revenue fund account. Imagine if we did not close all the accounts, we would have been talking about several accounts and many more problems, to narrate. It would have caused so much problem even for the audits that would ensue. So closing this is just to maintain sanity.
For clarity, what message you want to send down to the public?
Yes, I think to the public is just to say that there is a marked difference between the financial expenditure during the past regime and now. You see, the account was lumped, which is not too proper. As reported, the 669 has two different accounts, so it shouldn't have been lumped. And even where it was lumped, they should have been explained that there are two different accounts. One, the bulk of it, which is about 633 million, was spent by the previous administration. About 35 million was spent by this company. If that has been made clear from the onset by whoever was giving the information, perhaps it wouldn't have led to this kind of commotion and misinterpretation. So what we appeal from the public is that, not even the public, but for people giving out interviews, when you are giving out the interview, make sure that you have the statements correct and try to bring them out as they are. So that will be helpful and will not lead to unnecessary speculation.
Mr. Nuature, thank you very much for granting us this interview.
Thank you.